The Music Retail Show.
All right, hey everybody, we are back for another episode.
Yep.
Man, this one's an exciting episode because obviously we've got another guest.
Okay. I was wondering why it was going to be exciting. But
It
go ahead.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody is just as excited to hear you and I talk about everything.
I'm glad for
that.
that.
And actually, and Dave, we might actually have some of these mugs for sale going forward, so you'll be able to maybe get
And
one
for those
free.
people that are not watching, they're listening, tell us about the mug.
The mug, man, I'm telling you what, this is a mug. It's a nice series. It's a personal series of a gentleman who works here named Adam.
Yeah.
And, it's just a nice picture of his face, of him posing for the camera with the word manscaping underneath.
It's a great mug.
Yeah, he was the first person that I'd ever heard that I heard of that actually paid to have somebody else trim his beard for him.
What?
So, yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. I think he might get like his forehead.
After this podcast is over, we need to talk about that.
I think he might get his forehead lotioned and stuff too. So,
okay.
I could tell.
Sure, yeah, you can tell.
I can tell.
So therefore, it's the manscaping series. So there's probably going to be another series coming out later this year.
Maybe
too.
Another Christmas present.
Yeah, it's going to be another Christmas present. This came out at the end of 2007. We'll have a 2018 series as well. So, but anyways, hey, we want to jump in and obviously do. We had a giveaway from our last podcast.
We had a couple giveaways. Yes,
a couple giveaways. So we had the Franklin strap giveaway, and the deal was people were going to write in for some ideas. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's awesome. We picked two winners.
And we're going to drop these in the mail, and they will have them shortly.
Yes, absolutely.
And,
like you
they'll
said,
get them real quick.
Yeah, like you said, they'll probably actually get them before they hear it on this
Did
podcast.
I say that?
Yeah.
I said that. Huh?
That's true. You did. You did say that. So thank you so much. We love participation.
And these are great straps, and they are going to love getting them. So thank you again for those people, and we'll send them out to them just probably this afternoon or tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for Charlton for
Franklin strap, great straps. We've had a lot of people ask about them, and we've actually had one of the listeners talk about accessories and stuff. And Franklin strap is one that we mentioned. So if it was me, I would get Franklin straps.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very cool. All right, moving right along. We appreciate everybody there. So I got to ask you. So what's your take on the music industry from your point of view? This past week. So how's your week been?
Last week?
Yeah, last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the music industry, that's big, but I'm going to keep it small.
That's right.
And I'm going to keep it to us here.
Yes.
And, for those that don't know, we have 25... Right now we have about 25, 26 employees. I don't know the exact count. We go from 25 to 30 depending on the season. And how it's been for me.
Yeah, how's it been for you? Man,
it's been a rough week. I can't get into the details of it, but yeah, it has been a difficult week dealing with employees. We've got some of the best employees. I can't complain about employees, but for some reason, I don't know if it's summer and we're getting out of summer and everybody's got a lot going on, but it's been a rough week. And so I am very, very happy to get out of this week. Because I'm done dealing with people. I think I'm to the point right now where I don't like people. I just don't like people.
That's always good. They're like, hey, what do you do? Well, I'm in sales, but I hate people. Yeah, but I hate people. Isn't that a problem? But man, but
not
that's,
this week. Yeah.
I guess the point is that real life.
We're
real
humans.
Life sets
yes,
in,
we got real life stuff going on. So, are the people that listen to the podcast are not the only ones. We're not preaching to them about topics that we don't know about.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we deal with this head on all the time, and probably in some ways a little bit more because we have a lot of employees. And so these topics are real.
Yeah.
And this week they are real, and I do not like employees.
Well,
not this week. Next week I'll get back to liking them.
Yeah, next week employees will be great.
Yeah.
So, but hey, actually tell me a little bit about there'll be something fun for you to talk about. You are potentially going to maybe wrap a drum set for yourself.
Oh, yeah. I talked in a couple of episodes ago about getting a Champagne Sparkle Gretsch drum set. That's something that I really want. Well, we have some Gretsch drums here, but they're not a vintage one that I want. But looking at some of the stuff, I didn't really care for it. But I thought, man, I'm going to wrap a drum set. So I'll get probably Champagne Sparkle and wrap the outside, and it'll be Champagne Sparkle. The colors and the look today, I don't know what they are because I haven't picked them out, but I'm going to get individual toms and I'm going to pick a color, and then going into when it cools off, the weather cools off, I'll be rewrapping it. I'll be in my garage and I'm going to rewrap it, and who knows what it's going to be like. It's fun. I haven't done it in a long time. I used to do it a lot, but I haven't, so I'm looking forward to it.
Is it something that's pretty easy to do? Like, you think you can just pick it up and do it well? Or
some of the most stressful moments that I've ever had was rewrapping drums, because what happens is you have a sheet of the material and you have contact cement or whatever you're applying it with, and then the funny thing is as you're wrapping it, if it's not straight, by the time you get to the end, it's crooked, and it can come off, and so you have just a few minutes of the most stressful time that you can imagine. So you have to line it up, you have to line the shell up, and especially like with a bass drum, which may be, in my case, I normally play a 20-inch. I'm going to buy probably a 22, so it's a little bit bigger, and in this case, I may have someone helping me with that, or I may not. But I've done it without, and oh my goodness, it is so stressful.
That's a lot longer of a distance. So by the time I get it. I actually saw a drummer last weekend at this show that I went to, and hey, there's my wife calling. I'll call her back later. But I thought it was very interesting. He had a drum set. The whole drum set was all the same color, almost like an orange sherbet kind of color.
Okay.
But each drum had a different finish. So
that's
he had
cool.
He had a sparkle orange sherbet. Then he had one that was in a satin flat finish. Then he had a solid color with a gloss finish.
Very cool.
He had 4 drums. I thought that was interesting. Never saw anything like that.
I've done that before, where I've gone to gigs and played and got drums from different drum sets. And you talk about, traditionally, you got your singer, and I wasn't playing with the keyboard at this time, but the lead guitar player, you guys are like this, are they're the guys. You talk about prima donnas, they're the biggest prima donnas, because they're like, well, why did you bring that? Why did you do that? It's all different colors. Why don't you bring it? And I'm just like going, because it sounds cool, and it looks great. Yeah. Well, they didn't think it did. They just thought, well, we like your other drum set, So, but I like that. I like mixing it up and making it look a little bit different. Yeah. So
I love it when lead singers they're up there, they've got nothing in their hands, and then they start telling other people
what to do.
They're like, hey, those cymbals seem a little bright. Maybe you should change that out a little bit. It's just like, you're the lead singer.
Yeah, can you back off a little bit? You're a little bit loud. I can't hear myself.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
as a drummer, I've heard that a lot. Especially like playing in church. The worst is background singers. So if anybody is a background singer and listening, you should probably pay attention, because it's always, oh, you're a little loud. Can you turn my monitor up? I can't hear myself. Yeah.
You've probably got some good stories for.
Well, I just usually with singers, it's like the whole band has packed up their drums, their amps, their guitars, put everything away, loaded it into the van, and you see one mic stand with a mic on it in the center of the stage,
and put it in a little case.
We'll call the singer Mike. Hey, Mike, do you want to go ahead and pack up your stand?
So
because everything else is
we did everything.
You're still
else.
Talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So speaking of like divas, the lead singers are a lot of times just the divas of the band, and
they should be though. They should be.
Yeah. It takes a certain personality.
It does
to want
personality. That's what we need.
Certain qualities.
It's almost like being a president. It takes a certain kind of person that would want to be a president.
Yeah.
You've spent a lot of time being a lead singer, right?
No, not really.
What?
In the second half of my life.
The second half of your life. Yeah. I know you're always a guitar player.
Yeah, I was more the sideman for years before I started getting a chance to do a solo thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now
you're the lead singer and the lead guitar player and the rhythm guitar player.
So you have compassion
in my mind, I'm still kind of more.
You're still a guitar player. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, you know what? I think this would be a good opportunity to introduce this third voice that's actually.
We should let everybody know who's talking, right?
I know. People, everybody's like, what the? But hey, this is Dave Clo, an awesome friend of ours. He has a company that MIRC has always partnered with and endorsed because we love Dave and what he does.
Everything we do, we try to bring him in on. It's fun, and not only that is he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot to offer. So it's not just because we like Dave. That's part of it, but a lot of it is because he has substance. And what we're going to talk about today, and what we're going to get into, is educational stuff. Yeah. In past episodes, we've talked about education, and that's something that we're very passionate about it. And Dave kind of takes a bull by the horn with some of the stuff that he does, and we'll talk about it. But years ago, I seen some of his curriculum and gravitated towards him even more, because I was like, man, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Because coming from the retail side of things, I mean, we had a side of the store that was like band instruments and books, and then we had the guitar side or the regular MI side, and there was always a struggle and there was always a disconnect, because you have the only books that were huge were like some of the rock band ones, some of the piano lesson stuff, or some of the certain curriculums, but there was a big hole in the market and nobody was actually going in there and making it fun for students, because we had a lot of students and the teachers were always searching, and they're always searching for content. So Dave, in my opinion, has found that. He has actually created a very, very cool niche that I want to hear more about. So Dave, give us a brief outlook on this book that I have right here. So if you're watching it, you can see it. This book right here. Tell us about it.
Well, I already had some books that were published by Hal Leonard, Willis Music and Hal Leonard, and they're called You're in the Band. And which
is a great book. Yeah, that's one of my favorite books. Yes.
It was, as these were, it was written as I'm teaching kids, and I was actually writing a book to actually further them along, instead of just having a great title and saying, well, let me hurry up and write this book since I've got a good title. It was about actually trying to take them from A to Z by way of B, C, D, E, F, and the rest. But this book here, The Very Young Rock Star Guitar Method, is I started realizing as a teacher that so many older students are kind of thinking they can just go to the internet, which I discourage as much as I can, to learn, because there's so much stuff on the internet that's bad fingering and just bad information.
Anybody could be on the internet and give a lesson,
right? Yeah.
So they don't have to be qualified.
Yeah, I've seen some legitimate,
some good teachers,
some legitimate sites teach some really bad ways of thinking things.
Sure.
But anyway, but I really felt like that stores and teachers need to start teaching younger kids, and so I really got a passion for teaching younger kids, and then all of a sudden I started getting all these young students, started taking them on, and I started writing this book called The Very Young Rock Star Guitar Method, and I really wanted to make it so that it was easy, they could do it, that early on, all they have to do is play one note, and they get a good job. Congratulations!
Yes. Yeah.
Now let's
they get
try
affirmation
this.
early.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the tracks are real easy, and they move forward at a good pace. But it's really starts with big, beautiful pictures and things,
absolutely.
and it's really about, hey, let me hear this note, bam, and as a teacher, I can put that 5-minute track on, and they are engaged. I have all these kids that took through this book that have shown me over and over again that a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old can sit and enjoy a lesson.
Yes, which is big.
Yeah, because so many of the time
they're bored to death. I mean, let's be honest. Students go in there and they're like, I don't want to go to another guitar because their teacher is so boring.
Yeah.
He's not even prepared. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of times there's very little preparation, or they want to teach a Van Halen song. They don't want to teach a student how to start off, but you are hitting the ground running from the very beginning, and that's what I really like about these is because a parent can take a kid, boy or girl, age. What age do you start at? 5?
I've taken 5 to 14-year-olds through this. Anybody that wanted an easy start,
I tried to make it almost more like a video game that sucks you in with it being super easy.
So you're finding that the student is with the teacher and actually enjoying it and is engaged by it, learning, and wants to come back.
Exactly.
Is that appropriate?
Yeah, and I've gotten I don't know, dozens of kids now through this book, and they've all enjoyed it, and they've all gotten to the end, and none of them have, by week 3, started acting like, okay, I didn't want to be doing this actually.
Mm-hmm. A lot of this material is what I think it's good. Obviously, I took lessons early on, but man, I'll tell you what. I remember when I was taking lessons, you learned stuff like "Bad Bad Leroy Brown," and things like that, like typical songs. But songs that you're doing in here are more recognizable songs. The melodies or some of the hooks are going to kind of get people to be kind of sucked in a little bit more. Students to be like, hey, this is a great song, or maybe even they can play songs that maybe their parents know, but that gets them going at a real early stage.
Well, I didn't actually. It's a lot of books will have like try to teach a kid. Well, he'll want to learn "Mary Had a Little Lamb," or she will want to. And so the kid is got to play the first note, play re, play come on, it's right here, play re, now play had, you got to play another one, you got to play the next note, and the next note, and the next note, or else it's not going to sound like Mary Had a Little Lamb. So I wrote songs, and the tracks are fun because it sounds like a big, huge crowd.
It's like a rock band. Because they're playing with tracks. Is that what it is?
Yeah, the tracks.
Okay.
The crowd's cheering. The band has started playing, and they're waiting. The first song that they do is called "You Make It Easy," and I got my daughter to sing, who's a fantastic singer, and she sings "You Make It Easy," and on the word "easy" they play an E.
You play an E.
So they have time to wait in between the next time she sings "You Make It Easy" again, and that way the teacher is sitting there going, "Okay, sit up straight. Okay, you got the pick. You got all." And there's time between the moments that they have to do something that a teacher can
instruct.
Be saying, instruct, you be thinking about this next note is a B, get ready for that, and then they play that one note, and the crowd cheers every note that they play. So it's like,
that's cool.
So it's really engaging for them, and they can do it. And
they probably feel excited. They probably feel excited, like, wow, this is fun, you know.
So I actually wrote all the songs in here. So they're not recognizable songs, but believe me,
they have hooks to them, though.
Yeah. They're real hooky, and they play.
Did you say hooky or hokey?
Hooky.
Okay, gotcha. All right,
like skipping.
Man, wait a second.
School.
I think they're kind of hooky.
Okay, you have another book that has more recognizable songs in it, then, right? Or am I wrong about that?
You're wrong about that.
I'm wrong about that.
I have written all the songs, but the point that
was the Metallica Black.
That's
why it's recognizable. It was AC/DC.
That would be a good young rock star book to do all AC/DC.
Yeah,
songs.
but then you have to pay so many royalties to those. Then it'd be a $49.95 book.
AC/DC songs.
Yeah, right. So these sound just like AC/DC songs, but no. And then the book, the You're in the Band books, again, I tried to make it very doable and confidence building material that sounds fun. Cool chord progressions. You're playing your simple little part, and you're playing with the band and.
That's got to be fun if you're starting out and you're wanting to learn how to play an instrument. It's affirmation from the get-go. It gives you it's exciting. It gives you, again, that affirmation, and it makes you want to take part of this. It makes you want to play guitar, because a lot of times people go to a lesson, then they play, and they go home and they're like, I don't want to practice.
Right.
Well, they can. Is it a CD?
Well, originally they were CDs. People don't know what those are anymore, I guess. And so
used to be 8 tracks, and it was cassettes. Now it's CDs.
And I don't know what those are. But I'm not that old.
Yeah, the very young rock star on 8 track.
No, but no, you just go on the first page, shows you where to go to download your track or your music, and but I've had kids. When I wrote the original books, the You're in the Band, I was down in Miami, had a music store, and I actually would have some kids come in and ask for the music that their friends were learning guitar to.
Really?
So they wanted to hear this music. So because I tried to make authentic sounding, I really cared about the tracks. I spent a lot of time thinking about are these cool and will they like this?
They're fun.
Where can
Test
people
marketing.
Where can people check this out? Is it Dave Clo?
DaveClo.com, or
DaveClo.com.
you can go to my distributor, which is willismusic.com, and find the Very Young Rock Star, and also the You're in the Band stuff is there, and my
Which is
three-sided posters.
You're in the Band stuff is some of the best stuff out there.
It's been
Yeah.
out there for a long time.
I haven't checked this book out, The Young Rock Star, but I want to take a look at it. I'm sure it's going to be equally as good.
It starts off again with them just playing one note and getting an affirmation. You did great. And let's try that again, or let's do this other thing. And then it gets to a song where they we're gonna hit one E, boom. Give me two E's, bam, bam, and then three E's, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then let's go to G and one G, two G's, and then all the songs in the book go at different tempos too. So there's one time through it that song, and it's kind of a slow song. Then it's a mid tempo, and then the last time
so they get a variety.
And there's always places in all my books for the teacher to write down when they've mastered the song at each level.
Because that was something I was going to bring up. Is the teacher is it common to embrace this, or is it a little bit of a struggle to get them on board? How do we attack that side? Because the teacher has got to say, I want to use this curriculum.
It's always hard to get a teacher on board. Not some teachers are very open. When I was teaching a lot, when I had like 6,000 students, no, not 6,000.
That's impressive.
It felt like that. No, I had a good 60, 70 students at one point, and I was interested in all material. I was looking at material, and I think it tells you a lot about a teacher if they have no, I've got my way, I don't want to look at anything.
I agree.
It's like, well, maybe he's not the best teacher because he's run into issues with certain. I'm not going to say that my books and my material will work with every student. Every student is different, but I feel like I try to write what would help a lot in a lot of situations. And
something I think we should address, and I'm going to say it because I don't want you to say it because it's going to be a little edgy.
I'll say it.
Is so a music store owner oftentimes, and this is from my experience, leaves it to the guitar teacher for his curriculum.
Boy,
and so when we show an owner, let's say they own the music store.
Yeah.
This, and they go, well, let me talk to my teacher. A lot of times I feel, and I'm going to jump into business and we're going to back up to teaching, that they miss the boat. They have a teacher that they, let's even back up further. Teacher comes in and go, hey, I'm hiring a teacher. And they go, yeah, I'm a great guitar player. Okay, well, I'm looking for a good guitar teacher.
Yeah.
Do they ever qualify that teacher and say, let me see what curriculums you use. Let me see you play.
Yeah.
Give me a lesson because I want to know how good you're of a teacher you are because I want you to teach 100 of my kids that come into my community.
Yeah.
So that's something that we never do. We never really do that, is sit down and go, hey, let's qualify you. But if a teacher walks and go, I'm a great teacher, that's what they're looking for, right? So they hire. Right. So a lot of times the teachers trump the owners when it comes to this. But we need to back up and say the owner, again, owns the music store, and they need to look at this book because they need to evaluate what's going on in their business and sometimes tell the teacher, hey, this is a curriculum that I want to use because we can get a lot of students and get them engaged into my music store by using this.
Yeah. If you keep a student, you've got. If you keep them more than a year, you've got them.
You got them, yes.
You got them until they go off to college. And
absolutely.
I had a store, so I know that what you're saying is so correct. And I had sit downs with my teachers and said, you're here to help,
grow this store, teach the community kids. Yes.
I want you to help sell books. I don't want you to sell books you don't like, but I want you to sell the books that you do like, but we're going to stock them and we're going to, but I want you to try things. I want you to, so many times you'll run into teachers that just want to do their own method, which which is fine if it's working, but so many times it's not working.
Yes, as long as the owner is part of that. I feel like that's something that we miss out a little bit, is the owner owns.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have to micromanage the person, but he also needs to qualify that what they're doing is right for who they're doing business with. So that's a way that I would like all of our owners to take a look at this book and this curriculum to at least say, "Hey, I like this."
I would like that too.
Yes.
Well, maybe some store owners, from my experience, I had a short teaching segment in my life, and I'll tell you what, the store owner didn't care. Like, there was no real involvement. So maybe that's a lot of the problem. It was kind of like, hey, would you want to teach? Yeah, sure. I'll teach. That's great. Okay, well, I'll go ahead. When people come in, I'll push them your way, and you can have some students. And I didn't do it very long, so I didn't have a whole lot of students. But it was very clear that the owner of the store was just kind of like, great. I
think my point is I can walk into a music store that is hiring for a piano player and tell him I'm the best piano teacher there is.
Yeah.
And if I convince him, he'll hire me. I don't know how to play piano.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, all right. So from the business, now let's get back to talking about the book and the areas that you want our listeners to know about it. I don't want to jump ahead too much, but you also got some flip charts here. You got one also for the piano and guitar, which is great. I honestly think every teacher out there, every store should have these in there, because they should have these in their studios, because there's a wealth of information just in these little three-sided posters that is, again, a wealth of knowledge and information that everybody can, not just beginners, but everybody can learn from.
I'm telling you, that three-sided poster is probably one of the coolest tools I have ever seen anywhere.
It really was a fun thing. Originally, I had an idea for making it a book, and then I couldn't make that make sense. And all of a sudden, I thought, hey, if I did this three-sided poster, and the point is to not hand somebody 72 chords and go, start learning all your chords.
It's overwhelming.
But the two main things that this was to achieve is, A, give them something broken down where it's like, hey, learn these 14 chords. You can start working on that. When you're ready, flip over to side 2 and work on those extra chords,
cool.
and then side 3, get more
advanced.
Yeah, and so the 3 levels of chords. But the second thing that we sought after to do, and by we I mean me.
Yeah, I was like, who helps you?
Yeah.
So. Is to put the chords instead of an alphabetical order, which all other posters and things or guitar books give you every kind of A chord. Here's A minor, A7, A sus, A6. Here's B flat minor, B flat 7, B flat sus, B flat 6, or whatever. And so, if you're playing a song and you've got this book or poster, let's say a book, and it's like, okay, I need this chord on page 7. I need this chord on page 36. I need this chord on, So anywhere on this poster, the chords touching C diagonally or next left or right or straight down below are in the key of C. So when you look at a G chord, if you're wanting to play a song in the key of G, anything touching G is in the key of G and the key of D. And there's lots of little bits of information.
Easy to maneuver around.
It's so cool.
Very visual and very...
When we call it a poster, I want everybody to understand it's not like the traditional poster.
Yeah.
This is small enough to where it can sit on a music stand.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
And so you can be in there.
It fits great
teaching,
on a music stand.
Or just practicing at your home or doing a gig even.
Yeah.
You have a music stand or some way to prop this up there. It's not very big. It's very sturdy.
Yeah.
So it's not like a piece of paper that's going to fly off.
Right.
So that's another tool that I think all guitar players, and in this case, piano players, should have.
Yeah.
I've seen you present this multiple times, and you can see how music store owners, it's like the light gets turned on. They're like, oh my gosh, that's easy.
Yes,
that makes it look like people who can't play guitar, I think, almost start to think, well, crud, I can do that.
Yeah. The other thing that I want to say, but I always forget, is that's kind of fun to see, is that if you're looking at it and you start on a C chord and you're playing a song that goes C, A minor, F, G. So in other words, it's like C straight down, then to the left, then to the right. And you want to play that same song in the key of G, you just start on a G and draw that same shape.
Yeah,
and
it's so easy.
keys.
So that's fun too.
So you're changing keys very easily. Or if you are doing a deal where you're putting a capo on and you have to pretend you're in the key of A, but you're really in the key of C because you're capoed on the 3rd fret.
Mm-hmm.
Then, but your music's written in C. You just follow what did it do over here. I'll do that same shape over here.
Yeah. Okay,
and so it's really kind of a great way to look at it.
It's an awesome tool.
So stores can put these in. We have a sleeve and where they can hang them up.
Right.
So they're great as far as point of purchase stuff. We got the books that are typical books, easy to put in your shelves.
Right.
But something not just for teachers, but also for anybody walking into your store.
Sure. Yeah.
Anybody wanting in, go. It could again especially on this poster. Someone walks in and go, man, I need a book or I need something to learn. I'm in a slump right now. This is a great tool. Go here. Here's a good way to learn a lot of chords and a lot of positions. You need to buy this. It's only how much does it go?
$9.95 retail.
Everybody's got $10 in their pocket.
Everybody.
Not a problem.
Since we're talking,
we are talking about guitar players here.
Or
Do they have $10 in their pocket?
Yeah.
Well, if not, their wife or girlfriend does.
Yeah. But they do go into stores looking for something for chords.
Yes, absolutely.
And the great thing about again is you can sell this with just side one. Side one, hey, you don't have too many chords, and the chords you do have are the main ones that you'll use forever. Plus, they're in this order where it makes sense how you're going to use these. But then, the store can sell these, and they make this is wholesale. We sell it.
So they
for
make
$5.
good margin. Yeah.
So they can double their money. Where a lot of music like this is a B mark, and so that was important for me since I had a store to make sure that even when I got this distributor, Willis Music, that we keep their wholesale at $5 so they can double them.
That's awesome.
It's important.
And then side 2, by the way, real quick, adds 7th, major 7th, and minor 7th chords. And if you're looking at a G, right above a G is G major 7, and above that's G7, and then below E minor is E minor 7th, and below each minor is the minor 7th, and then above. And then when you open up to side 3, there's a whole bunch of chords, and you'll understand it better when you get there.
Yes. So we've got something a little bit for everything from beginners to people that are beginners and more advanced.
Intermediate,
and then we also got for piano players. Mm-hmm. So I have to bring something up that I've talked to you about before is ukuleles. When are you going to be done with the ukulele book?
The pressure is on. But now that I've just signed a distribution deal,
yes,
and they are high pressuring me for a ukulele.
Good for them.
Yeah,
you can do it, Dave.
We're gonna try to have it by Winter NAMM
this year,
2030. No.
I was like, what?
No. Yeah, really high pressure.
You're being real cautious there, aren't you?
I know. It's way up on the list of to do.
It needs to be.
Yeah.
You're using that word "we" again. It's
me, myself.
Okay,
and I.
I just checking.
Yeah.
No, ukuleles, as you know, are super hot. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. And it goes back into the education. A uke is a great way to start somebody out. And a uke book with these kind of tools that you're using, it's a home run.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a home run.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. So first of the year, it's going to be done. Winter NAMM, we're gonna have one of these, right?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Winter NAMM.
Yes.
I'm not saying which Winter NAMM.
Being positive.
No.
This is your accountability right
we
here.
got to do it. Winter NAMM.
No, we're going to, yeah.
So let's. Anything else on these books? Anything else on any of
There's
this?
so much stuff in here, but they really are all move gradually, and they all have very specific things they're teaching. And nothing
they're not
real
overwhelmed.
random.
I mean, you're
random,
explaining it, and people could go, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting overwhelmed," but they're not overwhelming.
Right.
They're simple, but yet they can progress at a very good pace. So it's something that everybody needs in their toolbox.
Yeah,
in my
absolutely.
opinion.
Oh,
So
I had that piano one up on my piano, And I just told my daughter, I said, this shape right here is real popular. There's a million songs if you go from the chord, the key you want to be in, to the right, to below it, to the left, kind of a clockwise on a T shape. You'll be able to play. I can't even remember what song she was trying to do, and I just said, just look at it and figure out what key you can sing it in best, and
do it.
Day later or something, I heard her singing and figured out her key and was playing the song and accompanying herself, and I thought,
that's awesome.
It's doing
very cool.
Doing what it's supposed to do.
That's cool.
So yeah,
very cool.
So DaveClo.com.
DaveClo.com and WillisMusic.com.
Willis Music, which Willis
for
Music's been around for a long time.
Right. They used to have, they still have, Dozen a Day, Teaching Little Fingers to Play, John Thompson Piano Series, and then You're in the Band was their first guitar method.
Really?
And then they signed a distribution deal with Hal Leonard, which is really cool because now when I go to NAMS, I'm hanging out with the Hal Leonard guys and
both booths.
It's all just one booth now.
One big family. Oh, it's just
it's a huge company.
Awesome.
So anyway, I was happy to get Willis to distribute these because they have a good distribution arm. And
congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
That's a big thing.
Thank you.
So you're going to be at Winter NAMM with the uke book and to hang out with us.
Yeah. You'll be there again?
Of course.
Of course. We have dinner almost every time there.
Yes.
And it's good times.
It's good. I think this is going to be...
When Nate gets to come.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. This might be a great year because we're working on... Don't know if it's solidified, but I think there's a good chance that Nate and Ian will be there.
Oh,
so Ian,
man.
who's producing all this and actually keeps us in line, will be there. And
Ian, the producer.
And then we can also we'll probably do another podcast, so we may have you sit in on one of those for a little bit. But I'll be at Hal Leonard.
He could introduce his ukulele poster at Winter NAMM on this podcast.
There we go. That would be fun.
That's incentive right there.
That is. No pressure, Dave.
I'm going to go home and work.
We're going to go ahead and advertise. During Winter NAMM this next year, we're going to have the Music Retail Show podcast to announce Dave Clo's ukulele 3-sided poster.
Wow.
It's done.
All right.
Good as done.
Under pressure.
Well, when I was self-distributing, you order like 5,000 of these things to get the price down so low
when
that
you purchase them.
When I'm purchasing. So all these were in my studio, and so it was just taking up a lot of
boxes.
room. But now that I have a distributor where I can go,
they got the boxes.
I can go. I still haven't gotten them all the boxes yet, but as I'm getting the stuff out of my house, I feel great about ordering these
uke ones
and having them shipped directly to Cincinnati area where Willis is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy for you.
Yeah, Dave.
I know this is a lot of work. This is artistically. I don't think a lot of people, including myself, think about the work that goes into something like that. So there's a lot of creative juices flowing, not only to do the artwork, but also the content to make it relevant to masses and to make it fun and engaging and teachable. So there's a lot of elements that go into this to make it just a great product, and I think that's what you've done.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I appreciate it. Your next step could be what? The Young Rock Star's the first one. I'm in the band's the second one, right?
You're in the band.
You're in the band. I am in the next one could be I've now left the band because I'm so good I started my own solo career.
Solo. Yeah, okay. I'm going to think about that.
Okay, yeah. Take that idea. Just let me know if you use it.
You'll get back to us on that one?
Yes, I will. Well, maybe we'll tweak that.
We'll work on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
We'll come up with something.
Well, we have some of this stuff that we're going to give away. We hadn't even discussed how to give it away, so I don't know, Dave. How many pieces are we giving away today? I mean, we don't have to give all this away. We got a bunch of stuff here, but what we could do is we can just have people that have music stores or teaching studios or something like that, just email and say, hey, give me one. Yeah. We don't have to do nothing fancy. We just say, hey, I want to check your product out.
Yeah.
So you want to do something as simple as that?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, as long as we don't have 10,000 or something.
No. But
Like the first-
whatever our limit is here.
Okay.
So first come, first serve.
Yeah, 5
So
of
what
each
we'll
or
do is
something.
anybody out there that has a music store, a teaching studio, or any platform that they want to get this product potentially in their store, but they want to review it, send us an email. Was it info?
Yeah, info. It's the music info at themusicretailshow.com.
The music retail, yeah.
The music
We're really
retail show,
prepared today. I don't know if anybody can tell.
They'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll put it. Yeah,
there
flash.
you go.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't even know where we're at today, but I guess the music retail show.
The music retail show at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. All right, done deal. Awesome.
Man.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
It's been.
Absolutely.
We're not going to kick you out. We're going to have you hang out.
Okay.
So just hang out with us.
Can I continue to talk?
Yeah, just continue to hang out with us and be who you want to be. But we have a few things that we're going to just
Still working that
meander
one
and
out.
talk about. Nothing overly important. This was the most important thing that we could talk about today.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the Uke book coming out. I'm excited for Willis, distributing your product. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Excited for you to get all the boxes out of your house and into their house.
Yeah.
So there's some good things.
I also just took a job teaching part-time.
Tell us about that.
At a college.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. I'll be starting in 2 weeks.
Really?
Wow.
And it's in Memphis, which is a good 3-hour drive.
Oh, man.
I'll be making that drive twice a week.
Twice a week?
Twice a week.
Okay.
But it's called the Visible Music College. And they have 4 campuses: Memphis, Chicago, Dallas, and I forget the name of the town. Looks like it's a couple hours north of LA.
Okay.
So-
Cool.
Okay, very cool.
So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun
that
new
something-
chapter.
Is that something you've been trying to get for a while? Or?
Well, the story's kind of funny. I years ago thought it would be funny late at night on the night before April Fool's Day to say it's official. I'm moving to Memphis.
Yes.
And I've
I've seen that
You remember
before
that?
from you.
I put that out there because I thought it would be funny. But then the next day I said details to come tomorrow, and the details were going to be April Fool's. Well, I started getting all these emails from the guy that runs this college, like, "Hey, call me when you get here. We'll have lunch, all this stuff." And I was like, "Oh gosh!" And then all the people that know me here, students and things, were like saying, "Oh,
why are you leaving?
I guess we have to get." And my parents are calling me, "What? Why?" And I was like,
I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, the dumbest April Fool's thing. Don't ever do that again. But anyway,
But you've done it a few
actually,
times.
Well, then the next year, I kind of did a laughing at myself from the year before. Or something,
Gotcha.
you know?
Okay.
But anyway, so then, but that actually started me and Ken, the guy that founded it, communicating again, and we had been kind of out of touch for years, and so.
Do you got to wear a tie?
I hope not.
You should have talked about that ahead of time.
I'm kind of from some of the
because with someone like Ken. I mean, like Ken and Barbie. I mean, that's very formal.
Kim Stewart's, I think is how you pronounce it. But anyway, he's a cool dude. He toured in bands.
Okay. So no tie. All right.
Yeah. So
I think we're good.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures. It looks like I'll fit.
You're pretty
fine.
Casual. All right, we're good.
But they don't say where the tie has to be, anyway. Put it around my knee or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Put it in your
Very
hip
cool.
pocket, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you're kind of a veteran of touring in huge, famous bands too, right?
Well, not. It depends on
What's famous.
What world
what famous
you're in.
means?
Yes.
But
we're all famous at one point.
I have toured the world and elsewhere.
Yes.
So, which is a Spinal Tap line.
Nice.
But,
We'll put it at this: you actually played in a band where you got to fly on a private jet to gigs.
I did.
We'll just keep
I got
it
to
at
do
that.
Yeah, for a little while. Yeah.
That's big time. We'll leave that mystery out there for people to wonder who that was.
Kiss. No, it wasn't Kiss.
It wasn't Kiss. That's awesome. All right.
You
well,
had
hey,
makeup on anyway.
I was Ace Frehley. Nobody knew that.
Yeah, you had makeup on.
Yeah.
you kind of look like Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
Oh, that was kind of an insult.
Thanks a lot.
I think you look better than Ace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course he does.
Play better too, right?
Ace Frehley is He's not an
attractive guy.
He is not an
needed
attractive
that makeup.
person. Yeah, I think actually they probably all wanted to just not have
wear
makeup on.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, put makeup. Oh, we'll all do it. Okay.
Yeah.
But a little lore that nobody knows about there for the beginning of Kiss. But anyways, all right.
Now that we got that important stuff out of the way.
Out of the way, yes. All right. So, but hey, Richard, we're going to jump over to just a conversation.
Okay.
And just kind of we can kind of dive into a little bit. I've got a stat right here that I think is a big deal, and then I'm going to ask you what you think of it. So now this is talking about, we had a podcast before, we were talking about the guitars in general, but music industry. You know, guitars, they're not dead. Everybody can go back and reference that podcast. It's not dead, but actually, in fact, everything's climbing. Now, here is a quote from Music Trades. Music Trade quarterly sales report again outpaced the economy in general, expanding at a brisk pace of 4.1% for the second quarter ending June 30th. Wow. So that's a huge deal. So the music industry is climbing up. And hold on a second, I've got one more over here.
Flip the page.
We got to flip the page because I don't know who prints stuff out anymore. The latest results mark the third consecutive quarter of music industry sales growth in excess of 4%. For the latest 3-month period, retail sales totaled $1.34 billion compared to $1.28 billion from the same period a year ago.
Jump, yeah.
So things are growing. So things are growing and things are moving forward. So what I'm asking you is one, is this the time now to get in the music industry? And also, what do you think the attitude and the mindset needs to be with some of these music store owners that they used to be young and now they're aging and they're kind of maturing and they now have the responsibilities are kind of being set kind of in their laps, so to speak, as we see the music world's doing good. Yeah. So what do you have to say to that?
Well, let's address the first one, and then I'll have you repeat the second question again. Should I get in the business? A lot of times, depending on the economy, is when we see booms and retractions. You know, so now the economy, according not only to what you read there, but what the news and what everything going on, the economy is looking better. So people have more confidence, they have more money. There's just a lot of positive things going on. You know, for the last year, we've passed CITES, which we've talked about. That's been kind of a hurdle with a lot of manufacturers, which manufacturers gets the products to the retailers, what the retailers sell it. So there's been a vacuum there. So they've been selling what they've had in their store. So they're not as optimistic maybe as they could be. Well, that is broke free, and now they're getting new product. Mm-hmm. Even if they ordered in January, they're getting all that product. That's kind of busted loose, and now we've got an influx of product out there. So is it time to be in the industry? Well, if you're gonna jump in the industry, you might as well jump in when it's starting to go up. Yeah. With what you're reading and what signs are saying is, yes, the industry is going up, it's growing, and it's a good time to be in. Sure. I mean, we have optimistic consumers, which is positive. We need that. So it is. I believe it's a great time to get into the music industry. Technology has changed things. Our platforms in selling gear is different than it's ever been. But I think it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it. Now, what was the second question?
The second thing is more of the mindset. We have we had a conversation earlier that I think is really important. What's the mindset of business owners now, especially as some are aging? We have a whole generation of music store owners that are getting older and they're leaving the industry, but we also have a younger generation that they're coming into the industry, or they're just getting started, or maybe they've been around for a little while and they're a little bit seasoned, but now they have an opportunity. It's their time.
It's a crazy time. We have, with the people that are established, and we'll call them established. I won't call them old. I'll call them established.
Sure.
but we all know that they're old.
I said older generation.
Okay, we're going to call them established. So there's two things that goes on with them. Usually they kind of grit their teeth and say, I'm in it for the long haul, and the way I did it 30 years ago, I'm going to do it for 10 more years, and this, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And I'm being extreme, but that's kind of the attitude. And then which I find really cool is you have those older generation that say, hey, I'm on the back end of my career, but I got a wealth of youth in my store that helped me run this store, and I'm going to kind of slide things their way, let them kind of take a little bit more. And it's growing that new generation. And I think as a whole, and it could be because of the recession, it could be for things I don't even know why, but I can visibly see a change of the guard. And sometimes I'm shocked because what I am seeing is I'm that new generation.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. And so I'm sitting and I'm going, I can't complain anymore. I've got to do what I said I would do.
Yeah.
I've got to be that guy. And sometimes I joke around and I feel like I'm a teenager and I do stupid stuff and I say stupid stuff as when I was a teenager. And then sometimes I don't, I'm 48, and sometimes I'm like, what is a 48-year-old supposed to act like?
I don't even have a clue.
And so with that, I'm starting kind of late, I guess. I'm starting to recognize how important it is right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing some of these guys retire and move out, and I'm seeing me and my friends move in, and I'm like going, oh my goodness, I'm that guy. But on the flip side, how cool is that?
Oh, very cool.
Because a lot of the ideas that I've had, a lot of the time that I've had in the industry that I wanted to do certain things certain ways, well, now I can.
Yeah.
And it's either I do it or I quit complaining about it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, and so the whole idea of this is to be encouraging to as the more established people are more established, young people that it's time to do what you say. It's time to it's time to let's say a little bit more elegantly. Hey, it's time to implement a lot of those great ideas that have been swimming around in your mind, and now you're also giving the opportunity to say, okay, I can do this, and now I need to be this. And
the great thing that I see, and it's not everybody, but it's a lot of people, is that the older generation I'm seeing that they're starting to pass the guard.
Yeah.
And they're starting to bring people in. There's a certain manufacturer that I'm super impressed with. He was the president of this big guitar company. And I talked with him at the Winter Show, and I even talked about him being the president of the company. And he says, well, I stepped down. I'm bringing this guy in, and he's the new president. But I'm going to stay on the board, and I'm going to help with certain segments of the company.
Yeah.
The way he spoke and he talked about it gave me the utmost respect for him, because he wasn't jaded, he wasn't bitter, he wasn't hateful. There was no these kids don't know what they're doing. There was none of that. But what he said is I'm bringing this guy in. I'm going to stay here as he's going to be the new president. I'm going to be behind the scenes, and I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach him. I'm going to show him. I'm going to mentor him. And I sat there and I listened, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is the coolest thing ever, because I could be that guy.
Yeah.
We could be that guy. We're not only me and you and Dave and we're in that age bracket to where the next generation is us.
Yeah.
We're that generation, and we've got to kind of look at it that way. I got to quit stopping and thinking about some of the corny, silly, stupid stuff that I say and do. Well, I got to cut it back. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to cut
realistic
it back.
Here.
Yeah, I've got to be realistic with it. But I've got to realize that, man, Time is now.
Yeah, passing of the torch can be a really cool opportunity.
Yes.
For business, for store owners, because let's just be honest. I mean, things have probably been on a path for a certain while. You pass the torch, you get to bring in that new blood, so to speak, or that different experience, and man, it can revitalize things. It can bring new life into a business, and these established
new ways of doing things.
These established business owners, it's almost like you're saying, need to embrace this concept.
I'm seeing,
business.
they do, and I'm seeing, gratefully, I'm seeing a lot that are.
Yeah.
So I don't want to paint a negative picture with those people or that age bracket and say that.
Yeah, nothing negative.
And I know you're not either, but thankfully there's a lot of them that are very mature. And when I say mature, I don't mean they're mature in their thinking and their career and business, where they can say, "Hey, man, I've had a great career. I've had a great run at this. Now I'm going to help somebody and bring them in."
Yeah.
And to me, that is so exciting. And it makes me so proud to be in this industry.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing more and more of it to the point to where at the Summer NAMM show, I'm walking around and I'm looking at the age demographics, and I'm going, I'm that age.
Yeah.
And it kind of scares you a little bit. I know it did for me, because again, maybe I'm thinking a little slow here, but if there needs to be change, and I want to see change, I need to be the change.
You're the one.
I need to go, wow. Who I said a couple weeks, I don't remember when I said it, and I'm going to get this wrong, but I said something to the fact that who's going to do it?
Yeah.
I might as well do it. And we were talking, I forget even what we were talking about it, but it's the same point that we decide. We decide what it needs to look like. So everybody that has had a complaint about the music industry, and you're of that age, well, now you have nothing to complain about. You just need to roll up your sleeves and do it.
It's time to do it. Dave, from your perspective, I mean, as you deal with established music store owners and younger in general, do you see this going on?
Sure. I mean, but even when I was a music store owner a few years ago down in Miami, it's kind of up, like you were saying, I'm the guy. It's up to that younger person to kind of say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to the owner and I'm going to tell him my ideas, and I'm going to, and certain employees became important to me, and I started giving them more and more authority in the store, because I started trusting them,
recognizing that they had the skills. Yeah.
So it's not just up to the owner. The owner wants to hand off responsibility as they get older.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So get that just encourage the younger people to have ideas and don't be
so that's a
afraid to
unique perspective that he brought up. He said the owner wants to.
Yeah.
And that's so very, very true. But with that want to, you have to have somebody to.
Right.
And that's where that generation, us, needs to say, hey, I'm that guy. I want to do this. I need a little help from you. But for the most part, I've been around it. I know it. I want to do it. Is that what you're saying?
The owner wants to take vacations,
Yeah, deserves it.
But he wants to know that it's in good hands.
Yes.
And the more he can trust that everything's in good hands, the more he keeps handing off.
I agree with you.
Do you see a shift in kind of the mindset of established business owners to younger business owners? And have you needed to, I don't know, shift the way you talk to them, approach your product to them and your company to them?
A lot of the older ones maybe don't really catch all the Snapchat or what the ways that of just getting things done, but it really, I don't think you can say an age demographic. It's more of a, for me, it's more of just a mindset of, do I want to give this guy 15 minutes to show me his stuff? And I was just at a store down in Orlando, and I was showing it. First time I just came in cold and started showing him the stuff, and at first he was kind of like, and this was like 3 weeks ago, he was like, I don't, we kind of have our things, our teacher set, and by the end he's bringing his teacher out, and I'm showing him stuff. And he just called me yesterday for another order. He ended up ordering that day, and then now he's reordered a couple weeks later. So sometimes it's, certain people are harder to kind of get them to listen to you. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I think it's just as much the responsibility of the young guy saying, you need to hear what I'm trying to show you. Just give me a few minutes here to tell you about this.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because they are a little set in their ways the older they get, but they also kind of want to hear about it once they've been convinced that you are legit, really trying to help them do something better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool. I do like the idea. I think I don't know. I keep saying younger, but I can't think of a better word right now. Every younger store owner that's now being into that position, I think it's tough too. Maybe a lot of store owners, as they're being passed the torch, or they're now gaining responsibility, or they're becoming that guy. Mm-hmm. Maybe they struggle with the idea of giving themselves permission to have that freedom to, pursue ideas. To, maybe they go, I don't have any room to be creative anymore because I've got to worry about this and this. But in reality, they do, like you were saying, business store owners are probably going, I can trust that guy. I need to pass that off to them because I have to be creative to an extent over here. What do you think?
I think there's definitely a transition. I mean, as you're saying some of that, I'm listening. I'm thinking to myself, man, I feel like that guy, because there's a lot of times that I could probably be a little more aggressive, or I can probably just get my way, so to speak. But it's hard. It's a hard transition, and it's a hard topic. It's because obviously there's boundaries that you stay in, and there's lanes that you want to be in to accomplish stuff. But then the question is, how fast do you run? Do you run faster? Do you run slower? Do you And it's a tough topic. But maybe you just take the gloves off and you do it. And maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it is definitely a season in a lot of people's lives that we deal with and see that you got to make a change. And I know for myself, like I said, I've just got to do it. I've got to be more of that guy, because, like I said, times have changed. I'm already in other side of the business, taking on more and more and more in different areas, and I'm thinking, man, should I be more aggressive? Yeah. Do I need to be more of that? Because, like you said, the owner or the person in charge wants to, hey, I want to go on vacation. I've done my deed. Yeah. I want to go and do something else, and trust that there's somebody else there. And so I think that's, for me, that's probably the struggle.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, it's got to be a struggle, and I think a lot of times in life there's a lot of ruts, that we can find ourselves in, that we just don't give ourselves the freedom or the ability to think we can get out of those ruts.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the purposes of this podcast in general, is to be positive, to be encouraging, to let business owners know that, they can empower themselves and they can be that guy. I just think a lot of times people need to realize that they are that guy.
Well, you said permission. I mean, that's a word that I use a lot, and I'm glad you said that. And a lot of times we do. We have to give ourselves permission to take the next step or the next multiple steps. And that's how businesses progress, and that's how change is made. And a lot of times if we stop and we're in status quo and we wait for permission, then a lot of times it's not granted.
Yeah,
and I think there's a lot of times where we just have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, from your perspective, you're a large business owner.
Yeah.
And I mean, what is is there? Do you have a struggle at all like this? Like every day you wake up, because guess what? You're that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to do it.
Everything's pretty much perfect.
Everything's perfect. You have no struggles. There are none.
I've been through it all. I've had the employees. I've had to fire an employee. I had somebody stealing from me, and I've had customers, theft, all that stuff. And but I think the main thing is that if I could speak to anybody, to the younger employees, is have confidence that if as the owner is the guy who's got the most stress on him at all times.
Yeah.
It's his money out there, and if you're just constantly saying, "What if we do this?" Even if he's in a bad mood and shoots you down and makes you feel bad for even having an idea, you still need to just keep
doing it.
My favorite employees were the ones who really seemed like they cared, and the ones that care are the ones that continually say,
they got your back.
What if we did this? What if we did that?
Yeah.
What if I built a website, or what if I added this to what we do? What if we did a Friday night concert? The guy.
Sure.
Even if I was turning some of that down, and maybe even kind of giving them a no, we're not doing that. That employee, that young person whose turn it is to start taking over, needs to keep going. Okay,
he didn't like that one, but he's going to like the next one.
Yeah. Just be confident that you are going to have your time, and you are going to. Because know that the owner's not really mad at you if they act like no, that's not. No,
sure.
I'm not doing that.
Well, and he may be also qualifying your comments too.
Right.
But
exactly.
The store owner, and we're talking about stores right now, they need somebody.
Yeah.
And if you got to be that guy, you got to be his right hand man, for lack of a better word. So pitching those ideas, he may shoot you down, like you said, a couple times, but deep down he probably is like, hey, I like this kid.
Yeah.
He's keeping it clean. He's challenging me. He's bringing me ideas. He's the guy he's got my back.
In fact, one of my favorite employees when I had a store was the kid that would come and say, I'd say, hey, did you call them yet, or something? And one employee would be like, yeah, I couldn't get through, I was busy, whatever. The other one would go like, I forgot. And it would be, every time it was easy to lie, he didn't, He just said, I'll do that now, I'm sorry,
Wow.
And like deep down I was storing away, that kid's trustworthy,
Yeah, he's honest.
And the one who could never admit fault, that was the one that I knew was not trustworthy.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
That is kind of interesting.
Be the guy
three
that
times, never picked up the phone. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Did you leave a message? His answering machine it was kind of on the glitch.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Right. There's always an excuse. Be the guy that's willing to go, nope, I messed that up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, being an owner of a business, you probably have there's probably a lot of great stories about employees. So
Yeah.
We'll do another podcast
on just funny stories.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess to kind of sum up, just our conversation here, that hey man, the time is now.
Yes.
I mean, that's realistically what it is.
It is. It's scary at some points, but it's also super exciting.
Yeah.
Like I said, looking around the industry, and I see, again, my friends are the guys who are not just like a sales rep, but they're like the general sales manager, or their titles are bigger than they were a couple years ago, and that's common. And time is now. You said it, and it's exciting because we can usher in so much. I mean, with technology change and the way we operate and think, it's a great time. I mean, it's really, really exciting, the change that we can make and the change that we can be. So even though some of it's a little scary, I'm excited. Yeah,
and that's why I wanted to start off with some of these statistics, is purely for the fact that we always start getting that confidence, when we see, other people succeeding. And it's just kind of like, hey, this is a great opportunity for the people listening to us to be successful, for us to be successful, for things being informed, because we always want to think about, well, I don't know, I had these ideas, but now I've got to be worried about this. But, there's an aspect to when you become that guy and the torch is passed to you, you got to be thinking 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, because in reality, that could be the kind of the lifeblood to the business of where are we going, and you're responsible for pitching that idea.
Yeah, I mean, even for myself, I look around at the employees, and there's a heavy responsibility there. Mm-hmm. There's wives or families or people that are employed, and the responsibility can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I try not to look at it exactly that way. I try to look at it in a more optimistic way of like we're fine. We're selling. We're doing. As long as we're creative, as long as we're moving, as long as we're making smart choices, then we're fine. We have a great company. Yeah. So again, it's scary times on one hand, but on the other hand, super exciting. I am very, very excited for the future of MI as a whole. I'm excited. Even doing something like a podcast. I mean, 2 years ago, if somebody would have asked us, we'd have probably chuckled and said, "Yeah, I don't think so." Yeah. But today is now.
Today is now.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right. Well,
and I'm proud to be here on the new look, right?
Yes. I'm glad you brought it up. We got the new wall here that we're still working on. We got the TV. I almost knocked my mic over. We got the new TV so we can Skype in. We have a couple people that we're going to be Skyping in the near future. We have a little more work to do, but we're getting there.
It's coming together.
Yeah, we're slow at doing some of this just because, like I said, we're a real business. We take a little money and build something or do something and take a little more money and do it again. And now looking around, I'm like, wow, this is starting to look professional.
Man, Yeah, man,
I look
so
good
lucky,
here
Dave.
too. Right?
You look great.
Yeah.
You
look good. You sound great.
Yeah.
For those who are only listening. But anyway, that was good.
It's a good podcast. To sum it up a little bit, and I'll turn it back over to you. I encourage everybody out there listening that has a store, lesson studios, any of that, to go to daveclo.com or go to Willis Music and take a look at this stuff. This book that I'm looking at is The Young Rockstar Guitar 1. We've also got the flip charts for guitar and piano. He's also got some older books that you can see when you go to his website and to Willis Music. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then also in January, we're going to announce the ukulele book.
You are.
We're going to show
the 3-sided poster for ukulele.
You're going to do that too? You're going to do a book and a 3-sided, or just
I was
a 3-sided?
thinking of just a 3-sided.
All right, we'll let them off. Just the one.
Well, can we get a book by Summernam?
Yeah, maybe we could.
All right.
I didn't even thought of doing a book with the tracks, play along tracks.
Yes, why not?
I mean, I have thought of it, but but I hadn't thought of doing it by January.
You hadn't thought of it. You hadn't thought of it.
All right, by Summernam, we got Winternam, Summernam.
Okay,
we've got the next year planned out for Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Great show, Dave. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Hey,
I love these guys.
I always forget this. We've got
Oh,
a gift
that's
for
right.
Dave Clo.
No
Dave.
way.
So
He can
Clo?
match this T-shirt, but
Right
in the
on.
red.
we've got the red, which is a new color.
Yeah.
The
I
music
like it.
retail show
Matches my shoes.
it matches your shoes. You got cool shoes on. So Dave, the shirt
thank
is
you.
great shirt. It's comfy.
Yeah.
We hope you
Kind of
enjoy
Ohio State red, isn't it?
Yes, go
it.
Bucks.
Is. Yes.
We love to say that.
Thank
on
you
here.
very much.
All right.
Hey, next time we talk, Dave, we do need to talk about some of the charity stuff that you're involved in as well.
Yeah.
Here we're into a lot of charity stuff. That's something that's that we're passionate about. We didn't get into it. I was going to. I forgot until we
right.
said Ohio Buckeyes. But next we're going to talk about the charity stuff.
Okay.
All right. All right. I think we're done.
That's it. We got
Wind
it.
us down.
All right. See you.